You're right.
So, hello everyone, a very warm welcome. We are so excited to have you at GDG Edinburgh, a part of GDG Global. And GDG here stands for Google Developer Group, and it's all about bringing developers, tech enthusiasts, learners who are keen to share knowledge, build connections, and explore latest in technology. Whether you are just starting out or you are already a professional, GDG is a place to grow, collaborate, and get inspired. Here in Edinburgh, we continuously and regularly host events, workshops, and today is no exception. Looking ahead, before we dive down into the icebreaker and our fireside chat, we have a look. Don't miss our next major event, which is Google I/O Extended, which is scheduled on 3rd of July. We will dive into latest announcements from Google I/O, plus great local sessions and networking opportunities. To make things a little bit more fun today, we have got a raffle. Tag us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and X during the event, and you will enter a chance to win a cool prize. We love seeing photos, thoughts, and moments from the event, so don't be shy. Now, for today's main event, a fireside chat with Krupa Galiya, aka Pi Girl. Krupa is a senior data scientist at PatternAI and Google developer expert in AI. With a focus on LLMs and conversational AI, she brings a rare mix of deep technical expertise and strong commitment to ethical, impactful, and AI. You are in an insightful conversation. Before we jump into chat, we will kick things off with a quick networking session, which is via icebreaker and a bingo session, and have a chance to meet great fellow attendees and spark some meaningful conversations. I'll ask John and Andrea to start with the icebreaker.
Hey, hi guys, good morning. This is Andrea, this is Jan. We are going to make two activities. We have 3 minutes for the first icebreaker and 2 minutes for
the bingo. What do you think?
So first of all, please find a partner or maybe a group of 4 people.
Yeah, we can work in pairs or just leave it to you. So just find someone to partner up with.
Yeah, let's start making this share the question. Now, please.
Yeah. So we're gonna. So with the paper, piece of paper, something have. You want to ask your pair or your that question in that paper just to get to know each other and learn something.
So we have 3 minutes, guys.
And you work can do also together, right?
Yeah. So with a piece of
Give
paper.
one to them, one to the next.
Huh?
You both also have to do this.
Ah, yes.
Cool.
How I can get right now. Okay.
You can.
Do we have the same? Well,
It's about robot. Okay, so you go first or I go first?
okay. If your AI assistant suddenly develop a personality, what kind of attitude will it
Uh,
have?
it's like, it's actually,
Personality,
yeah, it's a personality. So, a kind for sure,
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
but also little bit emotional. I mean, robot doesn't have the emotionality, but like,
So
I'm
high,
emotional.
get
So,
emotional.
yeah. So, they still need to work with the AGI, where we achieve all the human level intelligence. So, yeah, a little bit more on family person. So
Like,
like
I really
taking
care about
caring
you,
about,
like, how you
yeah,
feel,
yeah,
when
yeah,
you're
yeah,
coming
yeah,
from work.
yeah,
Yeah, how was your day?
right, yeah, and I would love it. So I also do the same. So yeah.
Great.
Now I ask, if you had to live with a robot,
Two.
if you had to live with a robot,
Okay.
roommates, so you got robot roommate,
Okay.
what annoying habit would it definitely have?
Sorry, say again. With so much noise.
So it's like you got robot roommate. So
Okay.
what annoying habit you think that robot?
Annoying habit.
Yeah, annoying. Like, it's like really very annoying, disturbing
the
kind of habit.
annoying thing is that if it's, crashing with every piece of. It's like the robot cleaner.
Yeah.
If it's always the noise like a ting,
Yeah,
crashing everywhere.
Yeah.
I think it's that thing. Like you are in peace and always crashing everywhere. And
Yeah,
then falling
like
the plant.
plants.
Oh, sorry.
Always
And then,
disturb
"No,
your
sorry,
sleep. Yeah.
crash with the stuff
Correct.
again and again.
Correct, yeah. And always the beep beep sound, the notification, maybe they're about it's like, yeah.
Can you shut up for 5 minutes?
Correct, yeah, I have my own sleep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really, really difficult to develop a robot, kind of like a human.
Right.
Still we are close, but it's
Correct,
still,
yeah.
it's, if
Right.
living together is really difficult. Even,
Correct, yeah.
my husband and I, we have different cultures,
Right,
still
yeah.
we are okay,
Right, yeah.
but still living together as a humans
Right,
is
yeah.
difficult.
It's so
How we
difficult,
gonna
correct.
build
Yeah.
a robot,
Right.
the best flamate in the world,
Yeah. Right, yeah.
impossible.
Impossible, right.
Sometimes we don't like ourselves.
Right, yeah. I'm so tired from myself. Like, yeah. Talk, correct. Yeah, just
the
do
robot
the
is
same.
like, why do you want to talk? Are you
Right,
sick?
yeah,
Are
right,
you
yeah.
sick?
I
Go to
see.
the hospital. Let's go.
Yeah, and then you just punch to the robot thing.
Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
We have a volunteer who can share what they learned from their buddy.
Okay.
Share for overview.
When you once the question you got was if we have to switch the careers and go into something totally different for 1 year, what would he try to do? He wants to go into the sports.
I need to reduce this.
To put it more politely, he wants to come back into fitness.
Oh,
That's a
nice.
manager's perspective.
Yeah, it's good.
That's good, yeah.
My question, which movie or TV robot do you think will actually survive working in your dev team or academic program?
While Robo, which does everything right. I mean, so it's DevOps. You can do everything. The Robo does in that movie almost everything, like from start to end. So having someone in the team is a great concept.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're gonna move on to our next game, bingo. So I'm just gonna explain how the game works and while John distributes the bingo cards. So for this activity, so it's bingo, but it's like find someone who like, so for each, like, the goal is to find a line, horizontal, vertical, or horizontal. So if you're meant to find someone who fits whatever kind of box, you're meant to, we encourage you to stand up with people and ask you, for example, the first box has a GitHub profile. So we would ask you to stand up and find someone who has a GitHub profile. And once you find that person, you get that person's name, write it down, and then move on to the next.
Okay, this is for both of you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Let's play.
Yes.
One person per box. And we have 10 minutes.
What do you have to do?
Just a vertical or horizontal line. Or
Yeah. So we have 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes start.
so it's like we cross it mark for all the things which we had.
What do we know? Or
No, we're supposed to find someone who has, for example,
Okay, go around the room. Yeah, I remember the game now.
okay.
write that person's name down.
Okay.
Yeah.
We know you find the person who goes that.
Okay, we have to do the bingo. Okay.
You attended tech meeting.
Oh,
Yeah. I think I feel like by myself. Just like this, right? Like, and then need to write a name.
perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for
So, which one of you think you can be a good
coming.
match?
Are you sure?
Me too. I also think the same. Then maybe you can check. You had the GitHub profile?
Nope.
Okay. Cool.
So,
And what's your good name? Your good name? Jay.
No, but you can sit here. You can send it.
Yeah, I need to write the names as well. Yeah. How do you spell Jay? Check.
Do you use the Google?
Krupa, Krupa.
Yeah, me too.
Tried no code tool? Or have you tried no code tool? Oh wow. Yeah.
I learned in Python. Yeah. You
Use the
learning
Gemini
Python?
as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's check with another one.
Oh wow.
We're coming.
So what is running currently right now?
Hey.
Getting it to do a programming job, making some open source,
Okay.
pretty advanced. Trying to get
Nice to meet you.
Gemini to solve a problem for you.
Oh wow.
Struggling, cannot.
It's like scrolling all the different scores then right now on the web.
Exploring different ways of solving the same problem.
Ah,
Keep
okay.
failing.
So after some time, maybe gradually it will.
I might give up on Gemini and I'll go
Yeah,
back
to
to
make it
AI
as well.
Ah, okay, yeah.
keep asking different
Maybe Claude is also good one.
Claude,
Claude, Anthropic Claude model. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I've got
And then
all of those.
Yeah, you got all of this, yeah. You work in AI, ML.
Sorry? I do
You
not
are,
know.
you don't. So what you work?
I'm currently unemployed.
I am part of the
I
team.
currently don't have a job.
Ah, okay,
No,
okay.
well, I am the organizer.
Okay, has a built a website,
But,
okay, app.
yes, I did the automations and some stuff.
Oh, now I'll find the other people as well. But yeah, thank you so much.
What you like?
Hi.
That one.
So, works in AIML, tried no code, uses Gemini. So, I mean, so it's like you,
Oh, yes.
Krupa, Krupa. So you don't need to write a code like a normal Python and like, JavaScript based, but you can just have drag and drop kind of tool and it will write code for you. Or you just like, ask like a message. So yeah, and then talked to, of course, to the speaker and I don't use VS Code.
You don't?
I mean, I don't use VS Code. I use PyCharm. So that's why. Which one?
It's kind of boring.
I do have a counter argument on that one because I love debugger mode. So it's like very quick to debug it. But VS Code, you can't just debug. You need to write like character to debug, like C for the continue and all. But in the PyCharm, if you haven't used it, it's like they just provide you full window and then you you know it, right? So that's why, and you can see all the variables, all the values. So that's the main reason I like PyCharm, to be honest. But agree, VS Code is really good. But when it's come to debugging, I feel PyCharm has its own charm, Has interacted with the robot, correct? Uses Google Cloud, correct? Been to hackathon, that's right.
You got the queen. Too fast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this.
So designed the resume.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Thank you. I thought you.
Banksy also has intelligence automating something in his daily life. And then Letitia is very
Thank you.
So basically, what is happening is like in the office itself, it's not a requirement. I have to scan through a lot of screens. Just I used to work in admin as well.
Can we put another chair and Dinara when it's gonna come and sit? Do you think it's yeah? So we can close it.
Yeah, but maybe we'll see how it comes. Because está 5 horas, no hay
Ujú.
margen. Lo
Okay.
demás lo colocamos para
Podemos traer el sillón ese. Así, cuando ella llegue ya. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you guys for participating. I hope you guys enjoyed and met new friends.
Yeah, and so when Dinara is coming, we can. Yeah. Uh, yep. Okay.
Oh, you can start.
I can start. Okay. Let's go. Yeah. Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to Google Developers Group in Edinburgh. Today we have a special guest, Krupa Galiya. She's aka Pi Girl. We wanna make some questions to her. So everyone, every time we finish one category, so everyone is welcome to make any questions. And also online, you can type any questions and we can read that to Grupa. And also, yeah, we have few surprises after the interview. So thank you for coming, everyone. And yes, let's start. Hi, Grupa. Thank you for coming for some fun.
Thank you so much, Rati, for having me. I'm really excited to be part of a GDG Edinburgh, which is like, in the UK community. So I'm really feel very like, warm welcome here. All the people are very welcoming. So I'm like enjoying my trip so far really well with UK. And this event is just one add-on for me to be here and like, share about my journey. So thank you so much for having me
so
today.
much. Yes. Could you start by telling us a bit about your story and what first sparked you interest in technology and eventually lead you to specialize in AI?
Cool, yeah, sure. So after I did my schooling, I'm from the India, as you know. In the Gujarat, there is one state, west side of India. And after I did my schooling, I started the diploma, which is after 10th. So there is the 3 years of course. And then that one I did information technology as a course, IT, which is like subject with like C++ language, and then networking, then like assembly language, and like all those stuff. No AI till now. But then the part of that program, the last year, it was more on like make a project, which is just like with every university. So there, for the last year, we are we have to build one project, and then we are very new. And like before that, I don't have access to mobile, no laptop. So then I was like getting little bit worried by the second year, like how I'm going to do the projects. I don't know anything. So then like my worried was like was too much. And like so then I thought I had to do something. And I wasn't good at English as well, because I studied in normal state language, which is a Gujarati. So it was really hard for me to catch up with the English language, plus the other all those like projects and everything. Even don't have the laptop either. So then I started like talking with some of my seniors, like how I do and everything. So they suggest to you, Krupa, you should first have the internet at your home and try to buy a laptop, buy a loan or some like with someone's help, but you need to have the laptop. So then my father bought me a laptop. And then once I had laptop, I always been a very curious with all the electrics instrument. So either it's a laptop or mobile. Then I got a mobile as well eventually. So then I was like going to all in the settings and then trying to see what are these features of this laptop or mobile. So then I started learning how to work with a laptop in the second year, which was that I was like around 15-year-old a girl. And then I gradually started doing all the stuffs in the IT. So I started with the website development, like building UI. There was like CSS, if you know HTML. And then it wasn't quite interesting for me to build a website development. So then I shifted my focus with the IoT, with the Arduino and all stuff. It wasn't that much developed as it was, as it is right now. But I started with IoT, then I liked the IoT. And then someone told me about the machine learning. And by when I was in school, I used to get a really good mark in the mathematics, and I like mathematics a lot, statistics as well. So then I was like, okay, it is something related to do with the math, then I'm definitely up for it. And then I started learning AI when I was like 16-year-old, and I started with basic thing like machine learning. Now nobody talks about machine learning nowadays, but it was there, I'm talking about like 2016. So then I started doing one N2NG course from the Stanford University, and I did that course, got certification, and then I found this is really amazing because it has involved with I used to have one notebooks with all the calculations, sum and everything, and then it's like okay, like some patterns. Once it understands some pattern, then it actually learns it automatically, which is very surprising for me. And then I was like, okay, this is something really interesting. And then I was already looking for my project, which domain should I choose for. And then I thought I'll do something cool project in a AI. And at that time there was no Python in our university, so they were just teaching C++ and Java and JavaScript, and the PHP was, I mean, still it is, so PHP was also there. So then I I like the AI thing a lot because I like the mathematics and all things as well. Then I built the project in a AI, and that's called sentiment analysis. If you have ever heard about this name, which is like classification based on text. So is it positive or negative? And this is the time of 2017. So then I liked it, and I did all by myself because I used to just go on the internet, because now I feel really, I mean, privileged to got the internet and the laptop. So then I want to use it maximum benefit as I can. So then I started with building project by myself. Even no of my faculties knew Python language. So it's like I had to explain them what the Python language is and how to write a code in that one. And all I learned is just from the online stuff. And then I started doing Python, and then with this machine learning course as well. And then I built the projects all by myself. I was just only one solo. Generally project used to you go with let's say 3 or 4 person, but no one's want to partner with me because I'm doing something new. So they were afraid okay, can we finish it or not, and we'll not have any support from the faculty. But I was super confident on myself, so I did it all solo project, and it was in the Python and the AI stuff. And then I completed, and fortunately the project got a second prize in our university. And there was many other students was also coming in our university to see my projects on how we did, because that was them Python was very new, and AI was very new term for every people. So they're all excited to see the projects and everyone. I built little bit UI as well with the Flask. So then my project got really famous along with my universities and everything, so they all liked it. And then I passed my diploma thing. And after 3 years I did undergrad course, which is also again in the IT. And then I continue doing my AI journey. Especially I did more on freelancing stuffs as well. So actually doing project, because till now I did university level projects. So it's you are not thinking about your end user, you just build with a project and then you are happy. So that's what generally university students do it. But then I also wanted to see how they how the outside of this university, how actually works happen in the industry. So that's why I going to such kind of events as we are right now with in-person events. And I met few people there, and they were if you could do something for us for free, then it would be great. Then I was like, okay, I'll happy to work for free as long as I can learn something new. So then I worked with them for let's say maybe 8 or 9 months, and then they really liked working with me, and they started paying me as well. So I was earning little bit along with my my university undergrad course as well. And then I started because then I having all those expenses. I'm just only me, so I don't need to ask money from my parents anymore. So that thing I really liked it. Yeah, working the real project. It's very young age. I was still managing universities thing, and then also this freelancing thing. So I used to go this conference as well, which is every Saturday Sunday. Whenever I heard there is in talk or in person community or event happening, I'll definitely go there and visit to meet up people, because it just expand your network. The more and more people will know you. So if they have some problem idea, they will have some interaction with you. So I used to do that. From there also I got many good connections as well. The community in my city was also really good. And then after my graduation thing, the COVID happened in the 2020. And then everything got shut down, and then I started looking for a full-time job, proper full-time job. Till then I was doing freelancing thing within universities, of course. So then I did I found multiple jobs but couldn't suit me well. Then one job I found, which is this US-based startup, more in the conversational AI, which is where I am right now. So it's been 5 years I'm in this job, and I'm right now as a senior data scientist, and I'm still continuing my learning path. So I started, as you can see, I started before this Gen AI came. So I started with NLP, AI, supervised and supervised learning, reinforcement learning. If you know this term, no one talks about it now, but there was that the terms were. And then Gen AI as well, and my company is doing all the latest stuff in the cool and stuff in the AI. So then I of course continue learning, and then right now I'm keep going to this conference, and I keep writing the research paper as well. I just wrote recently one research paper which got a top resource paper in a conference which we have submitted, which happened in the New Mexico just last month. So just still more into research, and also doing well in this tech community as well, and also in the job, and right now on the vacation with my mom for the UK.
That's great. So let me ask you, what was one of the biggest challenges you faced early in your career, and what did you learn from overcoming it?
Yeah, so
being a woman.
yeah, it's a really good question, because I just described my journey. It's all good thing you heard, but there was lot of the other things which is super challenging for me, of course, because what I mentioned is I did all self learning. Don't had proper mentor or anything, so it's I just keep finding different people, and then trying to see what they are telling, is it making sense to me or not. So it's there was, in this journey there was many challenges, of course, I have faced. So one of the biggest challenge I mentioned is I don't had the internet and the laptop thing, so I need to just get it around, ask my parents to get me the laptop and the internet, so then I can do my stuff. And I used to like every day I just explore something in the laptop just to see the settings, how it works. I was just always curious mind, younger curious mind. The other challenges is when after as a woman, when I was doing in the internships and all stuff, so there was not much of appreciation that I could get, was what I was being deserved. It may be part because I was learning, so I think it's all fine, because it's all the learning things, even the challenges, which I'll say is, I think, a good opportunity for me, because I feel if those wasn't the challenge, then I couldn't be at this stage. So the challenge is, of course, being woman in the tech, but nowadays many things are changed in the India, and in the global community as well. They support a woman's on the woman in the tech
community.
Right. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So I mean to in the Google team as well, I meet many of the women who are really great. So I just attend the session. It's really good to talk with them, and they'll give you really good advice on how you can follow their advice and everything. So yeah, I think mainly challenge was all self-learning thing, because if you remember we talked yesterday, it's too many things. I mean, too many noise in the market.
Too many tools, too many.
Yeah, so it's it's really hard to find where you actually want to go. So even I started with the web development side, right, and then I moved to the IoT as well, and then AI thing as well. So it's if you can have so I find myself a really hard time to choose a exact direction, to find to choose the exact course, to choose the exact project. So I need to explore all the way. But if let's say I could have someone at that time, if I see my younger self just back in the time, if I can time travel to the back time, so then if someone would just directly advise me, Krupa, this thing will work and this is going to be future, then I would not spend much time on the other things. So it's but I need to explore anyway, which is good, of course. So I know about the other technology as well. I know about web development, bit of IoT as well. but it is like, a challenge of like, there was not too much of YouTube video at that time teaching AI, but now you just search about, I want to learn AI. You will find millions of videos.
Yeah.
Like,
Which one is the right one?
yeah,
Because it's hard as well.
correct. Yeah, that's a really hard one to like, identify it, which is the correct one, where you actually want to go it. Some people says like, I mean, prompt engineer is really good and all. It's just the way that you need to know about how to communicate with the AI or a system. That's the main thing. At like, there was times it's just all I was just like, struggling here and there. I should go here. Okay, no, it's not. Then I come back, and then it's like all the different things was there. But yeah, it was I consider it's like a good thing, so I could learn the other technologies as well.
We have to be curious. This is the point.
Yeah, correct.
Can you share a pivotal moment or project that you feel truly defined your career path so far?
Yeah, so
Starting with AI.
yeah, so like, one of the project which I did was like, there used to be in our company, we have built a conversational AI tool. So it was like, dealing with it's like so I tell you a little bit about that project, so we're on the same page. So it was like after COVID, all the things was on the Zoom meeting, right? You have all or the online meeting, so you just have like, you have a video and then you have the audio data, and then it's like audio video data is already like kind of unstructured, very complicated data. And then our like, what we did is like, convert it to like, transcriptions with the timestamps and everyone. So with the timestamp, the speaker name. So that was really good project, I feel like, because by that project I learned a really lot in the like in the AI domain. So then I know how to deal with the video data, how to deal with the audio data. I did little bit computer vision as well. I also worked a lot in the computer vision side, and then how to do NLP. And I am talking about the NLP before ChatGPT. So that time there was, if you know the Da Vinci model, anyone know the Da Vinci model from the OpenAI? Yeah, so it was the way, like right now you talk about, I mean, like, this O3 model and like, this new model, talk about Gemini and everything. But way before, the OpenAI had the Da Vinci model. And it was like you ask something and then it will give you some response, and then it will keep repeating few words, keep repeating. Like, it's just like infinite loop. Because at that time, OpenAI was very new. So we can't use OpenAI because the model was like, really bad. It was just repeating words. It's just like if I say, how are you? And then it will say, I'm doing good and I'm, let's say, enjoying the weather. After weather, it will say, I'm good, I'm enjoying the weather, I'm good. It's just like keep infinite loop. So it was that kind of situation when like, we are trying to find something. And at that time, we did like, summarizations, not with the LLMs thing, because at that time there was no LLM kind of concept. Wasn't, I mean, it was there, but not that much popular. It wasn't good. It lack of the data, lack of the intelligence. It wasn't good as just like ask and like it will give full details. It wasn't like that. So then we did with the proper NLP things. And I'm talking about like right now, if I say I have, let's say, one page of this something is written and then summarize, you just have a, let's say, like have a photo and then you just ask to ChatGPT or Gemini, any of the LLM, you just go and then summarize this one. But it wasn't the case before that. So you need to use a proper NLP based module, which is more on the LSTM based. If you know, it's like long short term memory, like recurrence network and all. So need to deal with all those. So we have built like our own neural network model which was doing summarization, and then we found, okay, sometimes it's good, sometimes not. So it's like combination of ML based system, like all the deep learning side, and then also the rule based system as well, which like, where we pick some of the keywords. So it's like combination of all those things, and then like, we kind of build a small version of summarization there, and then also dealing with the transcription. So like whatever someone is speaking, and also just write me there. So let's say right now what we're speaking is, let's say, recording. So it's like a speech data, but then we convert to the text data with the like timestamp as well. So at the particular this time, Krupa said this one. So that like full timestamp data, not using of course some API, but what I'm saying all thing is like, doing by yourself, not just using some other APIs. Like you build your own models and everything. You see if there is some other model, and then you kind of fine tune as per your need. So that thing we did, and then the summarization, and then I worked a little bit on the audio signals as well. where you see the frequency of audio signal. Because as a human, when let's say we are in conversation, so when something is really interesting, our voice goes really high, a little bit higher than the normal one. Other small, yeah, other like a little bit lower. Like sometime it also happens. You are speaking something and I'm also speaking, because it's like it's like speaker interruptions, because something goes off there, or maybe something is really interested. So everyone started speaking because it was everyone was connecting the dots. So there are like different kind of points in the speech, just only speech data. So I find that is also really interesting. It's like all the signals thing, and then you see, okay, there's something happened there. So what's the moment there? What happened there? So I found it really good project, because there I can see the different data, different dimension of the data. I have the like video data, audio data, and the text data as well. So that is like coming back to your question. So that was very pivotal change, I would say. So that's why I could like see the much much wider application of AI, how AI can, and that's why we are struggling with this open AI models. It wasn't good. So that's why we need to do it, even though I also kind of try to do something like that, but I mean I can't do it because I don't have much of the that data, neither the good on the GPU side. But I did it just on the smaller scale at that time, just to have this summarization kind of model, just based on the summarization. It wasn't, I mean, proper LLM, but just a summary model based on this LSTM model. And then this LLM came, and then transformer came, if you know, from the Google attentions models and everything. And then it just boosts everything. And then nowadays you see this model, Gemini model, is really good. I mean, this OpenAI model, all the LLMs. Now we are in the age of LLM, but it wasn't there. So it was much difficult when you don't have those tools. But now, let's say you imagine any startup doing summarization right now, they wouldn't last, because now the summarization anyone can do, but it was there before. So it's just like LLM basically changed the full landscape of industrial era and the technology era, of course.
Wow.
So yeah.
It's amazing. So with that project, so you could see how much where you can go, or which part you want to focus, or
correct,
go deeper.
Go
right?
deeper, yeah, because you see the other dimension of the data. They're not just only text data, but you see the audio data, video data. So you got kind of chance to work with all the different types of the
And
data.
like you say, you need to know the basic. When you know the basic, you can start.
Correct, correct. Yeah, very true.
For our students, we have you in our audience. What are the most crucial first steps to start in the career in AI? What do you think? How they can start? Where they should start?
Yeah, so I will say it's like two path. So first path is really short. Maybe you can go a bit further on that way, but not much longer. That's for sure. The second path, which I followed, is actually understanding the math behind it, doing the theoretical thing as well, and then doing so that's what. So let's say I first talk about the first path, which is like kind of short one. You can get your things done. You can maybe land a really good job as well. The second is bit longer. It will take you time. So maybe you can combine first and second together in some of the points as well. So if I talk about the first path, which is the quick path, just to get start in the career or get a job or land a job in the AI. So it's like you can start learning about this LLM things, how they work.
It's important first Python, or first understand the where they should start.
So let's say if anyone wants to start, let's say even this is a first or second path. So first, of course, you need to know any programming language. So there is a plenty of programming language, of course, but specifically for the AI, Python is there. All right, there is other language as well. Are some of the things available in the JavaScript, but Python is the main and the basic language. You need to know about this AI. So first, start learning with the Python language. So maybe do some short course on the Python, maybe around let's say 1 week or something. And it's just like you need to remember some of the syntax and all thing, how it works. And then it's like once you learn, so you can't say, okay, I'm expert in the Python, but then you need to practice that language, that Python language, with solving some of the problems and all. So now let's assume you got some of the familiarity with the Python. So then you are good to go start with the next phase about this AI journey. So then you can see about this LLM thing, how they work, the basic idea of LLM. prompt engineering. We are talking about the first path right now. Prompt engineering. So prompt engineering is nothing. I mean, there's too much hype on the prompt engineering, of course. But it's a basic way of, for example, you understand different language, I understand different language. But let's say if you are talking to me, assuming let's say I am some, let's say, robot, or maybe I am, let's say, LLM. So you need to explain me instead of speaking your language, but you need to explain me in the language which I know, which I understand, or like give me really easy version of a simple language so that I can easily understand and I can answer your question or help you in whatever task you want to do. You want to write an email, you want to summarize many documents, you want to do question answer, so anything. But the basic idea is same as human. So you need, you explain the basic way, how it works. So same way here with the LLM, will of course LLM understand the English, but like very basic way, not using really high level of some jargon word which is like very complicated for LLM to understand. The very basic, and what the basic here means in the internet. So one thing we need to understand that LLM is trained on the internet data. So what's very common in the internet is also common for the LLM. So that's a very simple analogy here. So then give some of the information so then it understand well. So that's called the prompt engineering. There are different ways of prompt engineering as well, few shot learning, one shot learning. So understand all those different ways. So some of the time is like, let's say someone is not understanding what you are trying to say, then if as a human we give some example, small example. So and then let's say for example here we say, let's say Scotland, then let's say Edinburgh, then let's say let's say Gujarat, then let's say Ahmedabad. Then you say, okay, so now tell me, let's say Wales, so what the answer should be. So then you say, oh, it's Cardiff, yeah. So kind of that kind of, so that's called a few short examples. So like you give with example. So you need to understand those kind of techniques in the prompt engineering, and then know about the RAG as well, which is retrieval augmented generations, which is really helpful for the question answering thing, or build some small project around it. Have a good on the LinkedIn. If you are not on the LinkedIn, then I would definitely suggest build a really strong LinkedIn profile and showcase your project there, or maybe showcase your, let's say what are you learning in the AI. Let's say right now we are here, so let's say then for your profile it will be good. Let's say if you say I attended one of the event in the GDG Edinburgh and then I learned all those things. Any event, if let's say it's the IO extended or maybe any other event, you learn something here from the Android, then you can mention all those things on the LinkedIn. So any person, any recruiter will see, okay, this person looks really good because he or she goes to all the events, knows about the technologies, or of course in the touch with some of the expert as well. And then also build some a GitHub profile. There was one of the we're playing bingo, and there was one take on has a GitHub profile. So I'll say it's like should be tick for everyone, because everyone need to have a GitHub profile, so where you can showcase your projects after you learn those basic things, and then you showcase them, and then it will be you can get a good things in the career. There is also one course, you just type in the Google, free course called if you just type LLM course GitHub, then the first link is like Melbourne or something. The first link will come and that's the course, and it will give you full roadmap as well. It's the same as what I'm talking right now. So that's the first part. Pretty easy, simple to follow, and then maybe you can see the few of the things about the course as well, and then you can land a good job, or maybe the basic good one job in the AI. Second path, as I mentioned, it's a little bit longer one, where you start with the when I say longer, it's basically involved with the maths, involved with the calculations, involved with the supervised unsupervised learning.
And
Well,
what about generative AI? Should we
yeah,
start in that point or more mathematics?
yeah. So first path, when I say first path, so first path is mainly about generative AI, because nowadays all people talks about generative AI. So which is very short path. What I say is like basically on the generative AI side. But the second is
to know the
basic one, yeah. So that's what I say. The second is where you know the basic one, where you know about this machine learning thing. Yeah, correct. Yeah. And then you start with the generative AI. So the first one is you directly start with the generative AI, like LLM and all stuff. But the second part is like you start with the basic as well. So you know about the mathematics, you know about the calculations, you know about the supervised, unsupervised. So in future, let's say you got any problem, so it's like not all problem is solved by the generative AI. So that is also biggest misconception right now we have in the industry. Like every data I'll give to the generative AI, it will solve it. It's not the case, right? So there is different type of the models as well. But if you know, like you know which techniques, so basically we are as a, let's say, engineers, we all are engineers. So our main job is to solve a specific problem. Either we use generative AI, either we use rule based tech. It's mainly the, like you know, main employer or even the investor, they all care about is solving the problem. So it's like, you know, if you don't know the basic one, but if you still try to do the solve with the generative AI, which wouldn't be the case, then you will be failing at your job, at your career. So that's why if you know the basic one, where you know which problem I have, XYZ problem, so which model would be perfect for me. So if you just only know the basic one, like all the machine learning, supervisor, unsupervised, classification, regression.
Can you find out which model is better for
Correct. Yeah, better for the problem. So then you can understand.
Depends on
As
the problem.
yeah, based on the problem. As we just, like you know, trying one, like you know, just hit and try, and you're not, like you know, not, you are not achieving your target, because it's like you don't have the much, like you know, diverse knowledge about different models. You just know about just only one model, the generative AI thing. But if you know about, let's say, machine learning thing, deep learning thing, and then you know about generative AI, it's a really good combination. And then let's say if you also know something about small about how to deploy model in the productions. So now it's like everyone can do, even the, let's say, this GitHub Copilot, Gemini had a code assistant. This Paul was also telling he was doing something on the code writing thing. So code writing is, like you know, is it like going to be super easy after some time? It is easy right now, of course, but you first need to understand, like you know, which route should I follow. So that's why, like you know, this all those expertise is, that's why I mentioned, like even 1 week is enough for Python learning. If there wouldn't be LLM, then I wouldn't say, okay, for Python you need to have like 2 or 3 years of experience to best in the Python. But why I said just 1 month, 1 week, sorry, because you will not just only doing coding by yourself, but you'll take help from this, like co-pilot thing or code assistant thing. So they'll help you. So you know some basic thing about Python, and then you also have your companion. So it's like all together. So it's like you can learn really faster in this area. Yeah.
Tools to
Yeah.
learn faster.
To
we
learn
are not
faster.
spending so much time to what it was this or what it was the page where
Correct.
you used to.
Correct. Yeah. So that's why previously when I learned, it was like, you know, I spent, let's say, 2 3 years to, like you know, become really good in the Python, because every time I need to search on the Stack Overflow or see the, like you know, python.org, you go there, see the syntax and everything, read the documentation thing to solve a specific error. Still we do sometime because some of the complex problem, but it was all that case. But right now if you see any error, you just like display your code to those LLM.
Kind of like a call, like
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's there. Yeah, so it's like, you know, it's very simple to solve that. But previously, there were people finding really hard to see the syntax and, like you know, understand everything. So yeah.
Any courses to help our students or how they can build their portfolio for the recruiters? You said before, like
Yeah.
LinkedIn is the
Yeah,
best
so
place.
correct. So the one course which I mentioned is like LLM course, GitHub. So if you just type there on the Google, there is like an ML Bond kind of. You'll see that they also describe one roadmap as well. And if you just type on LLM from scratch in the Python, there is also one book. And like you know, so that book is also has the GitHub profile as well. So that the code is also there, and the book has this theoretical concept. So that is also good. So it's just like you are learning by you are doing. So which is also a good way. Yeah, so you're learning by doing, and then start with the, like you know, Python of course is a base there, and then start with the machine learning, deep learning, know about what CNN is. Nowadays nobody talks about CNN thing, which I found really, I mean, crazy. I mean, that was there after, like you know, basic there. So still some of the problem I see, even though when I talk about some of the industrial experts, and I was like, okay, which model you use? And they're like, oh, we use CNN. And nowadays, like you know, in the all hype, all like in all AI bubble, or talk about generative AI, or talk about multimodal things. So you can, like you know, Gemini can also understand the objects in the image and everything. But when it's come to, like you know, resource saving, time saving, then those object detection and object classification model is really good. So understand those models as well. So in future, if you see that kind of problem, so you can easily understand. Yeah, where we have to go exactly. So those things, and then GenAI is of course there. So it's like kind of combination of different part of a, let's say, sub module of a AI. So AI is a big domain. Inside you have machine learning, you have this deep learning, and then you have a really little bit bigger ball which is called the generative AI. And then some of the things about like deployment, which is where this Google Cloud, like GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and all that comes into. So where you can deploy your model, so other person can also use it, or maybe you can showcase this on like on your resume, or build a blog, or maybe like build a small website. So where people go there and like can experiment and see your model. So maybe some recruiter or maybe some other person can see. So like model deployment as well. So yeah.
Sounds good. Another question, and then we can you can make any question. So, how has been a Google developer expert impacting your career and in your work?
Yeah, so about GD, the title GD. So I just got recently, like in the end of February, I got this title. I was like contributing in the community since last 7 years. I go to conference and like talk about AI and the Google and everything. But now it's like previously I was like it's just like one add-on. I consider this GD as an add-on to what I'm already doing. It's like it's basically supporting me to like go to community, speak to the person, and like go to different region places, so they're like always supportive. And then like I can also get a chance to directly meet the Googler who build the technology. For example, I'm working in the Vertex AI, right, in the like my professional career. And then there is something, let's say I want to give feedback to the Vertex AI team. So like but now as I'm GD, I can directly reach out to the any Googler or the person who actually like the engineers who actually build the Vertex AI, and then I can directly talk with them. So I have the access of the like good resources as well. I can give them feedback as well. They are really good on hearing feedback and even the implementing as well. They used to have the community, the community power. So one of the feedback I give on the Vertex AI and the Google AI Studio, so they show you like the very, so something is, let's say Gemini has this different models and everything. So before those model goes open or public, previously you can also experiment. So like what Google will going to do because you are part of the community. So it's like there are different models. It's like not publicly available, but it's just a private preview. So I could have access of all those private preview models, and then I can experiment. And then if I can experiment, and then I can also give feedback to the Google community to see how it works. And then after like combining all the feedback, they finally launch their product. So it's like good that some of the like your feedback help to like shape the product. Correct. Yeah. So it's like it's like access of all those different Google products, accessing before it gets to public release as well, which is really good thing.
And still that is going to impact in your career.
Yeah.
Everyone is
Correct. Yeah, and then you know what's going to be there in the future, and then like having good community support as well. They are really helpful. They support like in case I want to, let's say, travel to another city in the India, so then they also support. They are like there are other GD as well. So in case you want to partner with any other GD to build some really cool project, you have the good network as well. In case I have any other question in AI, I can of course ask to other GD. So they are all experts. So I'm like also part in the expert team. So it's like you just part of a good network. Just like one step ahead, they are one step ahead, and then you become always learn with each other, and they are all friendly, super helpful. The team is also really good. So yeah, a lot of things.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, do we have time for questions? Yeah. Any questions? Yeah. Do you need? Sorry. Thank you.
So, one of the largest financial organizations in the UK. So we start to embrace AI for work now. For example, we use intuitive analysis and metrics and all this for identifying what type of companies to launch when a customer calls or says. So that we use intuitive analysis for that. And then we refer documentation, written complaints, or written forms, or things like that. We use these type of things to understand. But I think the critical thing I feel to use AI is actually cleanliness of data without having a clean data because in huge organizations, I know I think all of them,
Yeah.
and engineering institute of because we work with a lot of data as well. So at times you would do like 70% clean data or 80% clean data.
Right.
So in that case, AI may not be beneficial unless the data is completely agree with that, or I need any ways to insertion from that.
Right, yeah. So it's like there is one phrase in AI world is like AI is not good when there is no clean data. So it's like same way. Let's say we as a human having some conversation, but there is like we are not having communication in proper language, or there is like lots of nuance in the data or in the communication which we are doing. Then we neither we are like both of us can understand what the other person trying to say. So it's same concept with the AI. So even though I did face the struggle to first train up with the data, because as whatever seen in the AI world, like all is good, great, but it all good and greats come with only with the cleaning of the data. So there are, let's say, different rule based approach, or maybe AI based approach as well, just to clean the data. If there is clean LLM or such kind of, it's just a basic LLM, I mean, which does the cleaning of a data. Or there is some tokenization. If you know the term tokenization, you can do streaming, emitting as well with the analytical library. So you first need to do the cleaning of your data, and then you pass to the LLM. Then you'll get a good accuracy or the final good results, because it just we say garbage goes in. Consider there is like a one, let's say a square is a AI. So it's like garbage goes in, garbage goes out, but clean data goes in, final good results goes out. So that's like garbage goes in and garbage goes. So that's what the garbage is, means the very unclean data goes in. So it's like you of course need to have a really clean data. There are different techniques which helps you to clean the data. There is this Analytica is one library. You know about this Analytica library? Maybe, yeah. So you can see about this Analytica library, which can help you to clean up the data. Maybe there is no, you want to, let's say, add a punctuation, or maybe you need to do splitting of the sentence, because you mentioned you are having all those reviews of, yeah. So so first you can clean the data, and then if you pass to the LLM or any model, it will of course be better. And this is one Analytica library, so you can check out that library, Analytica. So maybe you just type in how to clean the data with the Analytica library, and then it will give you the good results. But yeah.
Any questions? Yeah.
First of all, thank you for this wonderful and insightful discussion. So, I'm a student here at the uni, and I would like to understand what's the current industry adoption strategies of LLM or other AI coding or other types of assistants for their production software or production models. And how is the industry dealing with the IP rights, or professional IP rights, or the data protection issues that might come up with using these AI models or LLM models?
Good question. Yeah. I think you had two questions. So first is the opportunity on the AI side, right?
Um, I'd like to understand like how is the industry adopting this
Mm-hmm.
LLMs or
Okay.
coding assistants
Yeah.
in already legacy systems?
Right. And the second is more about like privacy and security of the data. Yeah. So first I'll address the first question and the second one. So but your second question is really, I mean, a big question, I would say, because there are lots of, if you know, the AI ethics built around for just on that topic. But yeah, we'll talk about it. It's a really good point. The first one is like, let's say, as I mentioned, we previously used to do summarization, right? And like we couldn't do it really perfect. We tried with this audio data as well, as I mentioned, like really speech goes high, means something good happened. So like what was that? So we see that. But they but then when LLM came, then we know LLM can do the summarization, which makes our job really easy. So then we like use the LLM. So same way with any industry, consider if you have a lots of let's say text data. This person mentioned they have those all the reviews data, which is all the text data. Like they have the lots of document, and then they do the summarize sentiment analysis on those data. So it's like whenever you see any like textual data, more on textual data side, and you want to do some, let's say, summarization, or maybe find it's a like positive negative thing, anything more on the textual data side, then it's like morely on the Gen AI side, you can say, because like you can ask any good thing on the prompt, or maybe you have like many of the like text data there, and then you want to see which is, let's say, some customer conversation, but then you just, because it was really long course, and then you see there is some of the part, or let's say you want to see the what are the questions. So text data again goes with the Gen AI thing, because you want to see how many questions they are asking. So more on the text side, then you can first say if it is solvable by the Gen AI or not. So Gen AI means all the LLM side. But other way, for example, you have the weather data, which is all the numerical data. Like you have let's say weather data, different senses and everything. So then it's a more problem for, let's say, machine learning or deep learning side, where you do some predictions. So Gen AI doesn't do prediction really much well. They do, but not really well. So prediction, let's say, for example, today is raining. So what are the chance for, let's say, it will rain tomorrow or not? So this is not Gen AI problem. You can still ask to Google, and then I mean with a Gemini or ChatGPT, but it is just to give you the weather data. But how the weather data goes is, they do on the the cloud, how the cloud are, what are the sensors, like they build let's say all the sensors. So what are, let's say, temperature here, and then how the wind is, like which direction they are coming in. So there are all those parameters, and this all are the numerical data, or some of the in the text data, but not much of the text data is, let's say, what is the weather, let's say windy, cloudy, sunny, and what you see in this like Google weather. So when you have those kind of data, where you want to predict something for future, right? So that's why you do with like a prediction based model, or some of the classification based, like these are the situation today, so what it going to be for the future. So that's where this deep learning based idea comes into picture. So like based on whatever the requirement industry has, then they adopt a different part of AI as per their need. Some prefer this Gen AI. I think the person mentioned they have all the text reviews, so for him it will make sense to deal with the Gen AI. But for example, your project is, let's say, predicting weather data, or maybe you have some store data, inventory data, where some of the items already there, and you want to predict, let's say, in next 3 months, will I need to buy a more stock of umbrella or not? So it depends based on the weather situation. It is like more of prediction. You are doing some predictions for the future. So that's why this deep learning prediction based model. So it's always depend on the need. Numerical data, more on numerical side, go with the regression thing. More on text, go with the Gen AI thing. So are you clear, or do you still have any follow-up? Yeah. So your second question, which is really important, and all industries struggle a lot for data governance or data security, because even I wouldn't be okay to share my bank statement with the LLM, right? I think no any we are all, I mean many people here, maybe 10 or something, no one from us should be okay to share our bank statement data or really sensitive data to share with the LLM, right? Because they may use it for the retraining, and then when you see some other person already know your data, right? So we should be really careful of sharing, not just, I mean, personal side, but also same on the professional side as well. You can't be sharing your really company sensitive data with the AI, with the any of the, either it's a Gemini or either it's an open AI. Even they also mention, if you ever read the last line on the bottom, they mention don't share any secure or like good data, I mean very sensitive data here. So that's why there is a concept of open model, open source technology, right? Have you open source? The same way here, in AI we call the open model. So where you build your own LLM, a small LLM, of course not big as Google, because they are really big companies, so they have a lot of data, they have lots of resources, but a really small model in house, which runs in your system only. Just only you have the access. So nothing goes out to your laptop. It's just all your laptop inside. So that's where, which is just, I'm talking about the personal use just for your laptop thing. But there are also the other company in the industry. They, let's say the Gemma. The Gemma is open model. Means, all the calls which I'm, let's say, having with the Gemma, it always stays in the my cloud environment, or even in my local system. It's not the data not going out. So that's a really good. So I'm not basically sending my data to the Google, neither on the OpenAI. I'm just using the open model. So like the model I deployed, it just stay with me. It's in my hosted cloud, either it's AWS or GCP or any of XYZ cloud. Or if you have, let's say, good local system with the powerful GPUs, then it's just only with you. So nowadays, many companies in the industry are adopting this kind of approach. Because, for example, let's say Amazon, right? Just example as an Amazon company. So Amazon has the AWS, right? And Google has the GCP and all stuff. So they are kind of, in a way, some of the things are, let's say, in the competition, right? So they will not basically, so a person working in Amazon wouldn't be okay to tell everything to the Alexa Gemini or anything. So what they do is they build such kind of small in-house model. So all the big company has those small in-house model, and this is just available for their employee, where you can have any question, any answer. And let's say for your personal use, you want to do anything cool with your LLM thing, but you don't want, like, sending all those data because it's really sensitive, maybe the bank statement data, or maybe like, your personal life thing, you shouldn't be like comfortable sharing all those things to the LLM. Then you can build a small local model there, which, like, helps you to, like, protects from other companies stealing your data, because it's just always in a side. That's the first way to go with the open model thing, which is more of a development side, and it's a really good community as well. With the open models, Gemma is also good model, the Llama as well from the Meta, if you know the Llama model. So Llama and Gemma, there are the example of open models. So you can build in-house. You are not giving your data to any of the big tech company. The second route is that there is one concept called LLM guardians. Means guardians, let's say you have a one big door and you have some guards protecting your data. So same way here, if you implemented LLM guardians, you can do with the code, and there is some other tools as well. In the Python language, there are many LLM guardians available. So what they do, so generally what happens right now, you have your question, you give your question to the chat GPT or to the Gemini, or maybe you use with the API thing and everything. But the guardians is basically intermediate with your data and the LLM. So it will check, every time it will check, you are not sending any sensitive information. So it will just basically barrier or an intermediate level, which will check your data. So many company implement such kind of LLM guardians as well. So for example, if I'm, let's say doing, basically, let's say if I'm summarizing, just example, summarizing my UK trip, and let's say I want to post like a Instagram story on my trip, which is little bit longer, let's say. And then instead of my name as a Krupa Galiya, which is maybe, let's say, many identified name. So instead of Krupa Galiya, what it will do, it will change the name. It will say many of the other common name, because for my UK itinerary, it shouldn't be matter who the girl is. It could be any other girl, right? So it's just one example. So it will just change the name, and then it will write everything as it is. So you still get the idea, and then at a final, it will again rechange. Let's say Johnny, let's say the XYZ name, like many common name, it will say, let's say Johnny Paul, or maybe any other name, just assume that. And then it will change that name, and then in the result, it will do all the processing, and then at the final, it will again change back from the, like, say, Johnny Paul to the again to the Krupa. So that's called this LLM guardians things, where your data will be changed, where it is like PI, you understand PI, personal identifiable information thing, right? So it will change those of the world. If you give your credit card information, it's just credit card information, so it's just this number. So it will change those number, and then it will give the results. So it's like those kind of LLM guardians is also there to protect your data, and the security is really like critical in the LLM things, because some person don't understand, they just give all the data. So there are some of the
mistakes and
yeah,
stuff
some mistake, and then, like, the company need to suffer a lot, because then data goes publicly. If you right now goes and check, like, give me the OpenAI key, it will produce some of the OpenAI key fake. If you give, like, give me the credit share, it doesn't happen right now, because now they also have a AI, like, LLM guardians thing. But previously there was some big news as well, some of the company, like, their employee did something, and that company data is there on the internet, so everyone can see it. So that's why you need to have this LLM guardians, which is really big mistake people does. But I hope that answers your question.
I just want to add something to what Krupa mentioned about the application of GenAI. So I work with a company publicly stated, we are one of the biggest tech consulting companies in the UK and in the world. So we work with a lot of enterprises, and what we have seen the organizations adopting is, so there are multi parts of this one. The application of GenAI. One is the knowledge base, the unstructured data which used to be there in the enterprises. They're trying to expose that to the employees using LLMs, so that they can ask questions, they can easily retrieve the information. So that is coming up. Other part is the automation part of it. Either in development, so like co-pilot assistance, or apart from that is the in the backend automation like cloud automation, help and support automation. So there's a lot of automation. There's a lot of applications of GenAI which is coming into enterprises. And as Krupa mentioned, they're trying to safeguard it so that the corporate data doesn't go out, but then still they won't adopt it. So there's a lot of excitement, and that's why we are also trying to make sure the Edinburgh community is trying to be available or ready for this new change of AI. So that's how it is. So there you go.
Completely agreed. Yeah, very true.
So we're gonna move on to the next. I think it's that we had a networking or raffle. Yeah, raffle and networking. Thank you so much for coming and share with us your journey and your experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all the questions as well. I loved having this conversation where I could share my journey and inspire other persons so they can also understand, as Sudeep mentioned, that just to share something with the community, so then they can also adopt this new upcoming changes with LLM safeguard, the guardians things, and using LLM. So it's a really good. It's good that you are also hosting such kind of events, so the people can also know the latest technologies and they can use in their project or maybe land a good job. So it's really good work. Of course, you are as a community, GDG community, that you are doing. So really great. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.